genuine commitment to honesty to this end. May the peace of God, which passes all understanding, be with whatever we touch, do, or say, this day, henceforth, and forevermore. Amen. Amen.
Good evening, all. I'll first of all make dua, and after the dua, we can just say Al-Fatiha. So you just say Amen in my dua, please. Ya Ilah al-Alamin, Ya Mujib Sa'ilin, Hablana min Khalashad, بالعلم وهدنا دنيا ودينا واحملنا من كل شر وانصر خيرات فينا يا غفار يا لطيف يا سميع يا رب وما انت اعلم به منا سبحان ربي السلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحه. اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين اياك نعبد صراط المستقيم صراط الذين انعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
Thank you very much. The Sierra Leone Diaspora Conversation is not an event. We are also launching, this is our first public meeting. It is a transformative platform for reflection, accountability, and action. And to those here today, I want to say thank you for not just attending here, but for also your emotional attachment to this cause. Despite the difficulties sometimes attending this kind of functions, but I believe we're all stakeholders when it comes to Sierra Leone. So for that, I must say, once again, we are most grateful for you being here tonight. My task here is almost done. I will now call on Mr. Khalifa to introduce the chairman of this, Mr. Khalifa, please. Thank you very much. I can now leave the stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My brother, what else can I say? Thank you for such a glowing introduction of my person. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Colleagues, seniors, good evening. The major bench, my one and only Ali, my brother, good evening. Good evening to you. My job here tonight is to briefly introduce the purpose of why we are here tonight. Like my very senior said, I have always stand against injustice, and that I will do. My relationship with the progressive came when, at some point, the chairman and another fighter were arrested and detained at the CIA Central to see how best we can do to rescue them. We are all aware where we came from as a nation since 2023 elections. We saw what we never anticipated. It's like it was then thrust on us with no excuse. And so what we know back in Freetown, I know many of us, my colleagues, have been detained. Summarily, detained with no justification. Arbitrarily. Those things that came to me because people begin to speak. We all must be aware of the atrocities committed by people who took to the streets wanting to vent out their own pain. That is an abomination in Freetown today. And these are the things that laid the benchmark. When I came to realize what people were going through, I decided to take a stand. And this is why I'm here tonight. That many of us as lawyers are country's head. Everywhere people have diverse to find the answers to those issues. And this is the thing why we decided let's have an open conversation. And tonight is the night. This is not about
And from the people, the government is derived. But the reality is, all that just stay at some related for city man study criminology. You get this? And not just notice board, like the other one away, sitting a politician as alone. Then can you read? Or to get a degree. You able to swear. The chairman stand for. They hold them, they lock them up. Just if you say Salomon Sabi calls, when you take exam, what he say, you know, they can. And human will say, we know they can. There, so the Kashina, wait till the man say, well, the first language will begin the language he born. And no, it's time. And I wish politicians in Sierra Leone would emulate what the Williams. And I will pay them all.
He's somebody I personally revere so much because he doesn't take a no for an answer. Tonight will not be here to tell you what all it contains in him. I'm only introducing him, but you will find out for yourself who. If you look at him, he's always a humble guy. He has an eye
Oliver Tambo and Nelson Mandela were rich by every description. They had a very good practice. And to become the very first few black lawyers to have a black practice in a majority black country, it means that every black folk would come to you. But one day they said to themselves, we can make all the monies, go back home, give our families beautiful life, but we owe it to the people to close this practice, to join them in resisting apartheid. And that's how they closed down that practice. I'm not asking my friends lawyers to close down their practices. I am saying we to ensure that we are at the fore of resistance. Again and again, bad governance cannot be prayed away. You cannot wish bad outage. They did not fold appetite. Resistance to bring appetite to its knees. It takes resistance. I have said that I would not recommend bloody forms of resistance, but I urge you not fold your hands. In a crisis of legitimacy, silence is not the answer. In a crisis of legitimacy, you know what I am saying this as somebody who was lived through every colonial in Fobe College. I could not pay fees. I was kicked out of college. So I know poverty. I have lived through every kind of poverty. That is why I am energized. But I was resilient. I went back to college. A little lucky, some other Bostons. But I was resilient. I went back to college. A little lucky, some other Bostons might have been fortunate circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, when people come together, not doing the wrong thing. We may disagree with the method, disagree with the timing, but we must all agree that the only way we can partisan politics is not to be very old chair, Mr. Wadi, who at some point, Mr. Adi Macaulay stopped up at some point, for a number of days. And I remember very well myself and another hot head. We do seated on himself. We an impromptu. Yes, when the Bar Association could not speak, we organized an impromptu media engagement at the forecourts of State House. And you can imagine, not long afterwards, we saw these police anchor came and stood across. We spoke to the camera unequivocally that this man's detected by every character of the world and that he should be released. Later that night, he was because we spoke. Because we spoke. Ladies and gentlemen, my admonition and prayer to all of us this evening is that when we have this conversation, let us offer our own perspectives, because otherwise, because our generation were quite unfortunate. We were born on the eve of the Civil War, we lived through the Civil War, and we're living through bad governance. We are quite unfortunate. Perhaps the generation after us would enjoy this scenario that are. We have not enjoyed that scenario. That scenario where you switch on your tap and water comes through the pipes. No, see that scenario. That scenario where part of your prayer is to get. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not only have a crisis in the Bible. I think in the book of Nehemiah, at some point, the walls came down. The cupbearer had access to resources. He said at some point, I must go back to rebuild the walls. I'm not asking diasporans to learn in what is happening back home. Because when Nehemiah would always come with a cup to the king, he said at some point, was my walls, my time to go and rebuild? He said, fair enough, I will give you that time. I'm not trying to ring the doomsday alarm, but we now have the man in the US. And immigration laws might not be so favorable anymore. We must ensure that we have a good fallback option, and that is hope. So when there's a crisis, there should be an upsurge of interest back home. We are able to defend and midwife a democracy that caters to all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Thank you.
What can I say? Here you have it. It's going to give you exactly what we expect. For you. It will never stop at anything. As we speak, his inspiration is why Bar Association in Sierra Leone. That is unthinkable. We came out, we want to make our own, according to our rules. All over the place. It is inspiration, its own wisdom. It calls all of us around. Listen, where we are not required to be in a sitting place or in a hotel or any place. We can have. And today, we can boast of the most vibrant law association in Sierra Leone. That is the Lawyer Society. What happens in this matter in case there is a break of this agreement? It's the lawyers from the Lawyer Society. Not from the. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you will be impressed when you see lawyers one day as he prayed. The visits by the government, the lawyers need to rise up, and we are coming. I'm seeing our brother here. Mission anyway. Our former AG. Hear from him, 1 or 2 minutes. I hand you to Mr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for such an. I am not surprised. You and I have been in the trenches, parts that society expects us to play. The idea of the rule of law and constitutionality. Like he alluded, I was arrested and locked up because I was on television. To protest against the government. And 6 weeks with guns, I hid myself. And when the heat was a little low, the association decided not to speak up for one of its own. Came out, stood in front of State House, and gave a. My cell door was knocked at about 11, 12, and was told. But when I saw some of my colleagues standing out waiting for me, I came out, and thank you very much. To be successful, the rule of law is one. It was impromptu. I came from Windsor and I said I should make it here. I did a research, and the diaspora is between 3 to 500 million, 10% of GDP. And it's reduced. The reason is because you cannot put your money, your investment, where you do not think you have protection of. And you were talking about Wadi. Wadi and I on that COP to ensure that certain constitutionalities regarding elections and our electoral processes were upheld. And including when 2 trucks of police besieged her home, I was the only one that was able to go there. She called many people. Many people were afraid to go there, and I went there. And she was locked up for about a month or so. Dr. Dennis Wright, of CID, and a gentleman named Kelly came down, said, "Are you safely? Can you sleep myself?" And that was, yes, I was standing there, and that was how he ended up being locked up for about a week in police cells. This is not the night to tell stories. This is the night to reflect on how we as Sierra Leoneans living in the diaspora can contribute to calling out bad governance. Because don't forget, many of the bad players today came from the diaspora. So I think the discussion should also start here. Because I felt I could do better in Sierra Leone, and I am transitioning into something else, not because I want to be rich, by a practitioner, but like he said, do not sit idle by and see things go wrong. Our generation is the lost generation. We are fighting for the generation of our children. We are fighting for the generation of our children's children. So we are asking you all to join us in that fight. Thank you very much.
I'm not surprised, Mr. Adam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Looking at our agenda tonight, I can see conspicuously that one expected member of parliament from a British parliament was supposed to be here. And by the look of it, I can now safely say that I don't think he made it. Is that the case?
He came early. He was here early.
Oh, I'm terribly, so we disturbed him. I'm terribly sorry. We apologize. I'm sorry. We have to work hard to see how we can free ourselves from this particular situation. And so, going forward, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are, I think, time, so we are thinking about skipping few programs. But don't forget that this particular program has an element of question and answer.
Yes.
And then there is a battery of lawyers, as we say, able enough and ready to answer your questions when you come to that. Please ask your questions. Like I said earlier on, this is not a political platform. On stage. We come, then we can talk. Then we find out what is the problem. Then we see how we move forward ahead for building a better Sierra Leone. And that's, I think, regarding this form. Therefore, you are free. Okay, you are free. At this stage, may I call the next lady here to come and make on health and well-being. I call Madam Sisse. Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for us.
It's quite interesting to be a healthcare professional in the list of lawyers. Different instruments and different tools, but all. Good evening, everyone. Just as a point of correction, my brother here is to say, I don't want my husband to kick me out. You forgot to introduce me as Mrs. Isis Sisse General. I'm a Sierra Leonean, not by birth, but by heritage. And the majority of it here. But my parents made sure that I was not just educated within the Western culture, but I was very educated within the African traditional culture. And to constantly remind me that there is no place like home. And that home, even though originally we're from Senegal, for them and for me, that home is none other but Sierra Leone. So everything I do, I eat and breathe is Sierra Leone. Reach the worlds of and those in Sierra Leone eloquently about the importance and our relevance as Sierra Leoneans living in the diaspora. And rightly so, not for our generation maybe, generations and those yet unborn. So it is an honor to stand before you all here today to speak about the subject of healthcare that deeply resonates with me as a person, because it is as a tool in terms of the transformation of Sierra Leone. Because it's more than we can ever imagine. You can have all the resources, but if your population is not healthy, your human capital is not, it's irrelevant. I think it's important for us to bear that in mind. So I want to speak about something powerful, in the sense the role of the diaspora in shaping the health and dwellers in Sierra Leone. It doesn't matter where you live, whether you live here in London, or you live in Bo, or New York, or Paris, our heartbeat is for. Because across the world, Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora are making extraordinary lawyers, technocrats, engineers, entrepreneurs, and educators. But more than that, we are bridge. We connect resources. We connect knowledge. And most importantly, through compassion across all the various continents that we find ourselves. And in healthcare, the impact diaspora professionals, including myself, I'm a healthcare professional, 25 plus years, proudly a nurse by background. I'm now a director and chief nurse. And so, from a leadership and management I can give to my country. We are here as a gap through so many ways. Through medical missions. Diasporans are engaged in medical missions, volunteering, and ensuring that we're supporting hospitals and clinics through donations, and we're helping to strengthen the health infrastructure. It's very modest, but I think it's also important sometimes to be in terms of contributing. My husband and I, with the support of the community across, we raised over £50,000. What to? And we can proudly say, in 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, we were able to tear that ward apart. In Sierra Leone, I can proudly say, not just the best ward, but the also runs chemotherapy outpatients, and it's all for the local and the regional population, because we have patients that come all the way from whether it's the north, east, south to come and have treatment on that ward. So we're very proud of that. We're also involved in capital building. The local healthcare workers, strengthening systems, and introducing new technologies. Policy advocacy, making sure marginalized communities are heard and respected. But as I mentioned earlier on in my opening remarks, it's not just about, it's about community development. I see a lot of you here, my mentors, who and of course, my young ones, as an inspiration for us to continue doing we can do best and what we can do better. Is it lawyer? Am I allowed to say lawyer Ademakon? Yes. You mentioned that diaspora's contribution, careless conversations, and say, imagine if every diaspora decides just they're not called for, say, go na RIA, go na Afro International, go na MoneyGram. What will happen to invested about 500, 3 to 500. Yes. So we remember that and pay attention to that. But for me, what I'm going to take away from here this evening is we have to continue to be vocal. And we must keep banging the drums, because that's the only way we're going to influence change. And I'm really glad today it's not about politics. It's not all of us are interested in politics. But it's important as stakeholders for us to be engaged and hold our politicians to account. question our governance within our country. Our children and our children's children can look forward to going and enjoying themselves as they've started doing. So ladies and gentlemen, as diasporans, we cannot do it alone. And those at home as well cannot do it alone. These kind of conversations is what we need. Listening to each other and building together. So that we can look forward to retirement. And so tonight, I invite us all, whether you've just returned from abroad or have never left Sierra Leone, as I know we're being streamed live, I want us all to ask ourselves, how can we collaborate more? Not tearing each other down. How can we support each other's effort through mentorship and empowerment? How can we ensure that every child, every elderly, every community feels the impact of our shared commitment? So let us, as diasporans, celebrate ourselves, not just for what we give, but for what we represent, a global Sierra Leonean family, united by purpose, driven by love, and committed to progress. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Most alive.
Thank you, Madam I knew we will get something from you when I decided to get you here. She's very difficult to get, almost impossible, not just because of her job, but because of various other community engagement. So when I contacted her, she said to me, how long are they for talk? I said, I'll send it to you, Mr. Jado. Thank you very much, sir. Right. A 10-minute break. We took the liberty of, we can't bring you guys here and don't give you water. Yes, we've given you water. There's some food which you can for about 10 minutes. Don't go away. We have one of the most dynamic, upcoming, and again, just a few weeks ago, and she's doing fantastic work in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans how for do business in Sierra Leone, not just business, but she's going to talk to us, and then we have something from social media, and then we'll take the youths. Oh, we have a youth somebody here. Okay. So we have that break. We have a few snacks just behind you, ladies and gentlemen. In self-service, pick one or two things there, and then you can come back to the table, your table, and then we will continue the session. And after that, we do Q&A. And like Mr. Cisse said, free to ask any question. We have here, we have Mr. of course myself. So, and so not just ask, don't ask questions about just, you can ask us the progressives. What is the progressive? What do we represent? What are we up to? You're welcome to ask us questions. We have Madam Susan here, she's the Secretary General, also an Executive Director. We have MMT, who is the Outreach Director. We have Madam Zainab Kamara, she's also an Executive Director. So, you can also ask about the progressive. We are non-political, we don't belong to and we are stubbornly the progressives. Thank you very much. So, please, food is served. Thank you very much. Put one in picture, please. Thank you.
and I'm the founder of a company called Connoisseur Consult. I'm a business strategist, and I'm extremely passionate about African business and the development story. Now, I know this is like more of a lawyer talk, a political conversation, but I think there's always room for business and commerce. And I think I want to stop and I want to ask you now all one question. Yeah? What if Sierra Leone is actually not behind? What if, because we are actually ahead? I want to just paint a picture. And I want you guys to go on a little journey with me for 5 minutes while they go up here, okay? Why do I say that Sierra Leone is actually not behind and actually that it may be ahead? Because we hold something called a competitive advantage that the world and even ourselves have not yet recognized. When we hear competitive advantage, when you do business, or even in your career, it's the ability, it's the skill that you have to do something better. And sometimes when we think about competitive advantage, we think about other markets. We think about Silicon Valley, we think about China, Asia, Europe. But competitive advantage is relative in nature. It means being better in a specific way, in a specific time, and in a specific place. So for Sierra Leone, I want to tell you guys that we have a very, very clear advantage, even if we miss it. The first one is our ability to leapfrog. We don't have to actually copy any systems that are actually outdated, because trust me, most systems are already outdated. Just think about how mobile money transformed the African banking sector. Sierra Leone can transform governance, fintech, agriculture, energy, and any other sector. Why? We have the ability to actually build new models within our system. We don't have to copy, and we don't have to keep patching the broken ones that are already done. Number two, Sierra Leone is what we call a blue ocean market. But doesn't it look like we're underbranded? Yes. We're underpositioned? Yes. But that means we're also underestimated. That means we don't have to fight with Ghana or Nigeria for the crowded space in the market. That means that we can actually create our own new categories within the market. Sierra Leone becomes a place where we test ideas at a low level, and trust me, that is very attractive to investors. We have a chance to create new categories where we actually lead, and we no longer have to follow what's given to us. And then the third one, our diaspora. Our diaspora is the catalyst that actually pushes the country forward, just as the last speaker said. But we're not just here for ceremony. We're not on time for just this ceremony no more. We bring strategy, network, and we bring something called position to the conversation. And that is why I, with my company, we're trying something called Empowering the Leones. This is where we're turning ideas into position power. We're showing that currency shape can end and the Leones can sustain. So Sierra Leone doesn't no longer have to participate in the global conversation, but actually takes place. You actually own part of that market and have a voice in the conversation. Sierra Leone is able to participate in the global economy, but it sets the agenda in a way that is beneficial to itself. So, this is my call to action to all of us in this room. What if Sierra Leone positions herself boldly? What if Sierra Leone is no longer afraid to say to the world, this is what I have to offer? What if Sierra Leone positions itself? The world will no longer ask, what do you have to offer? They will ask, how do we get in on what we have to offer? So here's what I leave you with. Positioning is the real power. How you position yourself, or how you position your country, is extremely powerful. Don't go on social media and talk bad about your country. You have power in your hand when you hold your phone.
Very well, thank you, please.
Thank you. We have just been instructed by the chairman that in the next session, the remaining speakers will be given a platform because of the time vis-a-vis with the people in charge of this place. So we want to extend our apologies to the three speakers. We'll come to that in a minute. And we want to apologize. And Mr. Mara, Mr. Adamokoli, Mr. Kolifa, Mr. Jackie Johnson has left, and Mr. Sise, they're all here to take questions. So what I want to extend to the youth who wants to, you guys wanted to talk, is to perhaps through the Q&A ask questions that can be then converted into addressing some of the issues you want to bring up. Otherwise, in our next session, I can assure you, you will have a platform. Because time is against, oh God, she's looking at her speech, oh my God. So we want to profoundly apologize, and I will hand over the mic back to the chair. He is in charge, but he has asked me to apologize that we cannot extend the speaking time because of the facility managers here. So yeah, so that's it. So we are going to give the mic to the chairman, and he's going to take questions from the floor. Thank you very much. And please, when you ask your questions, don't label. You see, there is one thing we don't is we don't ask questions, we start making statements. Please ask your questions, and the panel here, including questions about the progressives. We have Imran T, we have Madam Zainab, we have
stories told in terms of what we do, not have jobs, skills, and opportunities. But we are not just problems to be solved, we are the solution.
And I'm Aisha. As a young Sierra Leonean woman, I know the challenges firsthand. Many of us dream big to be doctors, engineers, business leaders, or innovators. But without guidance and opportunity, too many of those dreams fade before they can even begin. That is why youth empowerment
workers or the health and safety, when you are the wrong person. Because whatever you say, it becomes policy. And if let the whole team be creating a big investor, when investors want to go to a country, then they seek farms, they really do research, then they talk to other investors. How did you go there? They say, okay, because you see the first lady, you will get charmant. Now go doing business, they will also. People know that they can't. So the judiciary need frustrating. Thank you.
I think we are drawing these proceedings to a close because I think we've had enough. Sorry, I'll call it. But what we're saying is that I think we've gone far more than we are expected to hear. But I want to thank you guys that your questions have been taken seriously. We have picked some points. We picked up some points that will be published. I'll give you with the word. We picked up some points that we publish, that will bring to us. And this is why the reason why we came here for this conversation. Now you can see points coming out. They are all valid points. And I believe the things that we need now to do is how to address them. I want to thank you all for being here. But before you go, I think my brother wants to say something.
Yeah. Just 2 minutes. First, I want to talk about something where we see for the overlook. No one they go into technicality. I want to send a message to the lawyers because my landed brother is a judiciary different from a lawyer. I just want to make you know say people will not get anyway small. Now they grow up for be bad big man. Lawyer then they end up for be judges. If you corrupt you in a lawyer, you will corrupt you in the judge. And Sierra Leone, the problem that the intellectual class of which the lawyer then belong. You see, the role of an intellectual is to challenge authority, not to serve it. That is one. And Sierra Leone, the lawyer then take part. 1958, 10 lawyers then. 10 lawyers. That is Albert Magai, Gajon Konya, Abu Kuruma, Masakale. They left the SLP party after what they do leadership challenge in 1958 as a lawyer party. You see, the division of labor is necessary. Lawyer they normally keep balance of power. Even
program tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me your ears one more time this evening as I read these few words of mine to you. Distinguished keynote speaker, respected panelists, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this diaspora town hall meeting, the Sierra Leonean conversation, allow me to express on behalf of the progressives our deepest appreciation for your presence and your contribution to this historic dialogue. This evening, under the theme, Confronting Democratic Legitimacy, Media Accountability, and Social Renewal, we have been privileged to engage with voices of authority, insights, and vision. Together, we have examined the foundations of democratic governance, the indispensable role of a free and accountable press, and the urgent need for renewal in our social and civic life. We were greatly honored by the profound reflections of our keynote speaker, Mr. Augustine Seme Mara, whose address has challenged us to think boldly and act responsibly. We are equally grateful to our learned brother, Mr. Dimapoli, for his principled statement affirming the importance of democracy and accountability in Sierra Leone's future. Our sincere thanks go also to Mrs. Aissata Sise, Ms. Mahawa Kamara, Mrs. Agnes Pratt, and our youth delegates, each of whom illuminated key dimensions of this national conversation. Your voices have strengthened our resolve. Permit me to especially acknowledge the chairman for tonight, Mr. James B. Sise, for his steady stewardship of today's